Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So let's start from the third chapter and let's see how far we can go. So third chapter is about drainage system of India. You have observed water flowing through the rivers, nalas and even channels during rainy season which drain the excess water. Had the channels not been there, large scale flooding would have occurred. Wherever channels are ill-defined or choked, flooding is a common phenomenon. The flow of water through well-defined channel is known as drainage, and the network of such channels is called a drainage system. The drainage pattern of an area is the outcome of the geological time period, nature and structure of the rocks, topography, slope, amount of water flowing and the periodicity of the flow. Do you have a river near your village or city? Have you ever been there for boating or bathing? Is it a perennial, alleged water or ephemeral water during rainy season and dry otherwise? Do you know that rivers flow in the same direction? You have studied about slopes in the other two textbooks of geography. Okay, कुछ भी बोलता है चलो in this case. So let's see. Can you explain the reason for water flowing from one direction to other? Why do the rivers originating from the Himalayas in the northern India and the Western Ghat in the southern India flows towards the east and discharge their waters in Bay of Bengal? A river drains the water collected from a specific area which is called its catchment area. A river drains the water collected from a specified area. A river drains the water collected from a specified area which is called its catchment area. An area drained by a river and its tributaries is called a drainage basin. An area drained by a river and its tributaries is called a drainage basin. An area drained by a river and its tributaries is called a drainage basin. An area drained by a river and its tributaries is called a drainage basin. An area drained by a river and its tributaries is called a drainage basin. And catchment area, a river drains the water collected from a specified area. So it is a specified area from which river collects its water, and a drainage basin is an area that is drained by a river and its tributaries is called a drainage basin. So from area perspective it is a drainage basin, from river perspective that is a catchment area. Okay, so the boundary line, the boundary line. Okay, first complete this box. Important drainage patterns. The drainage pattern resembling the branches of a tree is known as dendritic, the examples of which are the rivers of northern plain. When the rivers originate from a hill and flow in all directions, the drainage pattern is known as radial. The rivers originating from the Amarkantak range present a good example of it. When the primary tributaries of rivers flow parallel to each other and secondary tributaries join them at right angles, the pattern is known as trellis. When the rivers discharge their waters from all directions in a lake or depression, the pattern is known as centripetal. Okay, right. So याद रखना, ये डेफिनेशन हमने पहले भी पढ़े हैं इसके बारे में. तो ये देखो, ये क्या मैप है, मेजर रिवर्स ऑफ इंडिया दिखाया गया. देखो कितनी अच्छी से दिखाया गया है, ठीक है. मतलब इससे और भी मैप जो रिवर्स है वो ऐड किया जाता तो अच्छा होता, बट एटलास से तो काफ़ी अच्छा है. आपको आसानी से चीज़ें जो इम्पोर्टेंट रिवर्स है वो दिख रहा है यहाँ पर, विदाउट एनी वेरी बिग एफर्ट, राइट. यू नीड नॉट टू फाइंड इट. So you can see that all the rivers are drawn, and that's why I say NCERT maps are far better than the atlas maps. Now, so मैप को अभी हम छोड़ते हैं और जस्ट जहाँ ज़रूरत पड़ेंगे वहाँ दिखेंगे, बाकी तो आप देख ही सकते हो. An area drained by the boundary line separating one drainage basin from the other is known as the watershed. The catchments of large rivers are called river basins, while those of small rivulets and rills are often referred to as watersheds. Right? The catchments of large rivers are called river basins, while those of small rivulets and rills are often referred to as watersheds. There is, however, a slight difference between a river basin and a watershed. Watersheds are small in area, while the basins cover large areas. River basins and watersheds are marked by unity. What happens in one part of the basin or watershed directly affects the other parts and the unit as a whole. That is why they are accepted as the most appropriate micro meso और micro macro planning region. तो यहाँ पर जो है दी बेसिन ड्रेनेज बेसिन और जो वाटर शेड है उसके बारे में डिफरेंशिएट किया जा रहा है. तो वाटर शेड को हमने बोला है कि सेपरेटिंग समथिंग one drainage basin from the other is known as watershed. Okay, so the catchments of large rivers are called river basins, while those of small rivulets and rills are often referred to as watersheds. So there is, however, a slight difference between the concept. Watershed are small in area, while the basin area cover large areas, and river basins and watersheds are marked by unity. What happens in one part of the basin or watershed directly affects the other parts of and the unit as a whole. That is why they are accepted as the most appropriate micro, meso and macro planning regions. Okay, then Indian drainage system may be divided into various bases. On the basis of discharge of water orientations to the sea, it may be grouped into the Arabian Sea drainage and the Bay of Bengal drainage. They are separated from each other through the Delhi Ridge, the Araval Ridge, the Sahad Ridge. Water divide is shown by a line. Nearly 77% of the drainage area, consisting of the Ganga, the Brahmaputra, the Mahanadi, the Krishna, etc., is oriented towards the Bay of Bengal, while 23% comprising the Indus, the Narmada, the Tapi, the Mahi, the Periyar system discharge their waters in Arabian Sea. So remember this percentage: 77% rivers falls on the Bay of Bengal. Okay, inside the Bay of Bengal, and only 23% of river discharge their waters in the Arabian Sea. So on the basis of size of the watershed, the drainage basins of India are grouped into three categories. Major river basins with more than 20,000 square km of catchment area. It includes 14 drainage basins, 14 drainage basins such as the Ganga, Brahmaputra, the Krishna, the Tapi, the Narmada, the Mahi, the Pennar, the Sabarmati, the Barak, etc. And medium river basins which 20,000 to 2,000 to 20,000 square km, incorporating 44 river basins such as the Kalandi, the Periyar, the Meghna, etc. Minor river basins with catchment area of less than 2,000 square kilometer include fairly good number of rivers flowing in the area of low rainfall. If you look at the figure 3.1, that is which diagram? 3.1 शो टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस डायग्राम. देखा कहाँ पर दिया गया डायग्राम, मतलब कोई मतलब नहीं बनता यार. रिवर इन द माउंटेनस रीजन. ओके, थर्ड पेज में मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ चीज़ें और एक डायग्राम की बात कर रहा है वन पेज में. अच्छी बात नहीं है. Okay, so if you look at the figure 3.1, you can see that many rivers have their source in the Himalayas and discharge their waters either in the Bay of Bengal or the Arabian Sea. इसके लिए क्या ज़रूरत था इसका फिगर का. Identify these rivers of North India. Large rivers flowing on the peninsula plateau have their origin in the Western Ghats and discharge their waters in the Bay of Bengal. Identify these rivers of the South India. The Narmada and the Tapi are two large rivers which are exceptions. They, along with many small rivers, discharge their waters in the Arabian Sea. Name these rivers of the western coastal region from the Konkan to the Malabar coast. तो आपको बेसिकली रिवर्स को फाइंड करने के लिए बोल रहा है, बट यहाँ पर देखो मैप जो है यहाँ पर ऐसा कुछ नहीं दिया गया है, इतना डिटेल है नहीं. ये है नर्मदा, ये तापी रिवर, बस इन दोनों ही दिखाया गया है. ठीक है, अब कोंकोल मालाबार में कौन सी रिवर है वो आपको ढूंढना पड़ेगा. तो इसके लिए सिंपल आप गूगल में कर सकते हो. वैसे ये दिखाना काफ़ी मुश्किल होता है में क्या है ना मैप में, तो फिर हम कैसे दिखाए वो भी तो सोचना चाहिए यार. तुम्हारे पास सारे रिसर्च टीम में रिसर्च करके दिखा दो यार, आसानी से हम वहाँ से कॉपी कर लेंगे, सीख लेंगे. नहीं, तुम जाके ढूंढो, कोई मतलब नहीं है ये सब चीज़ का. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द मोड ऑफ ओरिजिन, नेचर एंड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, द इंडियन ड्रेनेज में भी आल्सो बी क्लासिफाइड इनटू द हिमालयन ड्रेनेज एंड द पेनिनसुलर ड्रेनेज. Although it has the problem of including in Chambal, the Betwa, the Son, etc., which are much older in age and origin than other rivers that have their origin in the Himalayas. It is the most accepted basis of classification. Hence, this scheme has been followed in this book. That is drainage system of India. Indian drainage system consists of a large number of small and big rivers. It is the outcome of the evolutionary process of the three major physiographic units and the nature and characteristics of precipitation. The Himalayan drainage The Himalayan drainage system has evolved through a long geological history. It mainly includes the Ganga, the Indus, and the Brahmaputra river basins. Since these are fed both by melting of snow and precipitation, rivers of this system are perennial. These rivers pass through the giant gorges carved out by the erosional activity carried on simultaneously with the uplift of the Himalayas. Besides deep gorges, these rivers also form V-shaped valleys, rapids, and waterfalls in their mountainous course. While entering the plains, they form depositional features like flat valleys, oxbow lakes, flat plains, braided channels, and deltas near the river mouth. In the Himalayan reaches, the course of these rivers is highly tortuous, but over the plains they display a strong meandering tendency and shift toward their courses frequently. River Koshi, also known as the Sorrow of Bihar, which has been notorious for frequently changing its course. The Koshi brings huge quantity of sediments from its upper reaches and deposits it in the plains. Sorry. The course gets blocked and consequently the river changes its course. Why does the Kosi river bring such huge quantity of sediments from the upper reaches? Do you think that the discharge of the water in the rivers in general and the Kosi in particular remains the same, or does it fluctuate? When does the river course receive the maximum quantity of water? What are the positive and negative effects of flooding? Evolution of the Himalayan drainage. There are differences of opinion about the evolution of the Himalayan rivers. However, geologists believe that a mighty river called Shivalik or Indo-Brahma traversed the entire longitudinal extent of the Himalaya from Assam to Punjab and onwards to Sindh, and finally discharged into the Gulf of Sindh near Lower Punjab during the Miocene period, some 5 to 24 million years ago. Time scale is in to discuss physiography. Then the remarkable continuity of the Shivalik and its lacustrine origin and alluvial deposits consisting of sand, silt, clay, boulders, and conglomerates support this viewpoint. It is opined that in due course of time, in the Brahma River was dismembered into three main drainage systems: the Indus, and its five tributaries in the western part, the Ganga and its Himalayan tributaries in the eastern past. The dismemberment was probably due to the Pleistocene upheaval in the western Himalayas, right? The dismemberment was probably due to the Pleistocene upheaval in the western Himalayas, including the uplift of the Patwar Plateau, Delhi Ridge, which acted as the water divide between the Indus and the Ganga drainage systems. Likewise, कहाँ आ गए भाई ये sorry. So Patwar Plateau, which acted as the water divide between the Indus and Ganga drainage systems. Likewise, the down thrusting of the Malda Gap area between the Rajmahal Hills and the Meghalaya Plateau during the mid-Pleistocene period diverted the Ganga and the Brahmaputra systems to flow towards the Bay of Bengal. Likewise, the down thrusting of the Malda Gap area between the Rajmahal Hills and the मेघालय प्लेटो ड्यूरिंग द मिड प्लीस्टोसिन पीरियड. तो ये मालदा गैप जो है ये मिड प्लीस्टोसिन में जो है क्रिएट हुआ था. तो ये सारी चीज़ें नोट करनी पड़ी है कि मिड प्लीस्टोसिन में हमारा मालदा गैप क्रिएट हुआ था, डाइवर्ट द गंगन ब्रह्मपुत्र सिस्टम टू फ्लो टुवर्ड्स बंगाल. और मायोसिन पीरियड में जो है यहाँ पर हमने नोट किया कि प्लीस्टोसिन एज में जो है आफ्रीफेल इन द वेस्टर्न हिमालयज का आफ्रीफेल हुआ था, एंड इंक्लूडिंग द अपलिफ्ट ऑफ द Patwar Plateau, which acted as the water divide between the Indus and the Ganga drainage system. So likewise, the down thrusting of the Malda Gap are between the Rajmahal Hills and the Meghalaya Plateau during the mid Pleistocene period diverted the Ganga and Brahmaputra system. So Pleistocene mid Pleistocene याद रखना, Western Himalayas है Pleistocene and Shivalik Himalaya है mid Pleistocene. Okay. Malda Gap है Malda mid Pleistocene, right? Malda mid Pleistocene and the descent to Western Himalayas Pleistocene upliftment or upheaval. Then the river system of the Himalayan drainage. The Himalayan drainage consists of several river systems, but the following are the major river systems. The Indus system, it is one of the largest river basin of the world, covering an area of 11,65,000 square km. In India, it is 3,21,289 square km and a total length of 2880 2880 kilometer. In India 1.114 km. The Indus, in India 1114 km. The Indus, also known as the Sindhu, is the westernmost of the Himalayan rivers in India. It originates from a glacier near Bakharchu in the Tibetan region at an altitude of 4164 and meter in the Kailash mountain range. In Tibet, it is known as the Singi Khamban. So Ganga river in Tibet is known as Singi Khamban or Lion's Mouth. After flowing in the northwest direction between Ganga river की बोलते हैं, Indus river is known as Singi Khamban in the near Tibet, okay, in Tibet. Then after flowing in the northwest direction between the Ladakh and the Jaskar ranges, so Indus river flowing in between Ladakh and Jaskar ranges. Remember this, between Ladakh and Jaskar ranges the Indus river flows, okay. It passes through Ladakh and Baltistan. It cuts across the Ladakh range, forming a spectacular gorge near Gilgit in Jammu and Kashmir. It enters into Pakistan near Chillar in the Dardistan region. Find out the area known as Dardistan. Yeah, that is a good assignment. Find out the area known as Dardistan. The Indus receive a number of Himalayan tributaries such as the Siog, the Gilgit, the Jaskar, the Hunja, the Nubra, the Sigar, the Gusting and the Dras. हिमालयन ट्रिब्यूटरीज है ये सर इंडस के, ठीक है. सायोग, गिलगिट, दी जास्कर, दी हुंजा, दी नुब्रा, दी सीगर, गस्टिंग एंड दी द्रास. द अदर इम्पॉर्टेंट, okay, it finally emerges out of the hills near Attock, where it receives the Kabul river on its right bank. So Kabul is also a right bank tributary of the Indus river. The other important tributaries joining the right bank of the Indus are the Khuram, the Tochi, the Gomal, the Bhiboa and the Sangar. They all originate in the Suleiman ranges. The river flows southward and receives Panjnad, a little above Mithankot, okay, a little above Mithankot. It is Panjnad. The Panjnad is the name given to the rivers of Punjab. 5 rivers of Punjab is called Panjnad, namely the Satluj, the Bias, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum. Satluj, Bias, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum. Satluj, Ravi, Chenab, Bias and Satluj, Ravi, Bias, Chenab and Jhelum. These 5 rivers are known as Panjnad of Punjab, okay, Panjnad. And it finally discharges into the Arabian Sea east of Karachi. The Indus flows in India only through the Leh district in Jammu and Kashmir. So the Indus flows in India only through the Leh district in Jammu and Kashmir. तो अभी तो ये लद्दाख में हो जाएगा क्योंकि ये ओल्ड बुक है. तो in recent times the Indus flows in India only through the Ladakh in 2023. Leh district, okay. The Jhelum, an important tributary of the Indus, rises from a spring at Verinag, situated at the foot of the Pirpanjal in the southeastern part of the valley of Kashmir. The Jhelum, an important tributary of the Indus, rises from a spring at Verinag, situated at the foothill of the Pirpanjal in the southeastern part of the Pirpanjal in the southeastern part of the valley of Kashmir. Situated at the foot of the Pirpanjal in the southeastern part of the valley of Kashmir. It flows through Srinagar and the Ular Lake before entering Pakistan through a deep narrow gorge. It joins the Chenab near Jhang in Pakistan. The Chenab is the largest tributary of the Indus. So Chenab is the largest tributary of Indus. So these important are very important, right? These type of questions can come in exams like EMRS. Which river is the largest tributary of the Indus river? So Chenab. It is formed by 2 streams, the Chandra and the Bhaga, which join at Tandi near Keelong in Himachal Pradesh. Hence it is also known as Chandra and Bhaga. So ये जो झीलाम रिवर है, Chenab जो है, Chenab is a combined form of or formed by the joining of the 2 rivers, that is Chandra and Bhaga. So it is also known as Chandra Bhaga. The river flows for 1180 km before entering into Pakistan. The Ravi is another important tributary of the Indus. It rises west of the Rohtang Pass. So the Ravi river is originated in the Rohtang Pass in the Kulu hills of Himachal Pradesh and flows through the Chamba valley of the state. Before entering Pakistan and joining the Chenab near Sarai Sidhu, it drains the area lying between the southeastern part of the Pirpanjal and the Dhauladhar ranges. The Bias is another important tributary of the Indus. ओके रवि का एक बार फिर से पढ़ते हैं। रवि इज अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट ट्रिब्यूटरी ऑफ द इंदस। इट राइजेज वेस्ट ऑफ द रोहतांग पास। तो रवि कहाँ से ओरिजिनेट होता है? रोहतांग पास से ओरिजिनेट होता है इन द कुल्लू हिल्स ऑफ हिमाचल प्रदेश। इन द कुल्लू हिल्स ऑफ हिमाचल प्रदेश रोहतांग पास से ओरिजिनेट होता है रवि रोहतांग पास। रवि रोहतांग पास, ठीक है, रवि रोहतांग पास। हमने पढ़ा था झीलाम जो है कहाँ से ओरिजिनेट होता है? इट्स वेरीनाग, sorry, rises from a spring at Verinag, okay, at the foothill of the Pirpanjal. The Chenab है, it is the largest tributary of the Indus river and it is formed by the two streams, the Chandra and the Bhaga, which join at the Tandi near the Kelong in Himachal Pradesh. Hence it is also known as Chandrabhaga. So Chenab जो है ये एक्चुअली चंद्रा एंड भागा का जो है कॉम्बाइंड फॉर्म है। यहाँ डी कहाँ मिलते हैं? इट इज फॉर्म टू स्ट्रीम्स, द चंद्रा एंड भागा व्हिच जॉइन एट द तंडी नियर कीलोंग इन हिमाचल प्रदेश. Okay, and it is also known as Chandrabhaga. Then Ravi is another important tributary of the Indus. It rises west of the Rohtang Pass. Ravi जो है रोहतांग पास की वेस्ट में ओरिजिनेट होता है इन द कुल्लू हिल्स ऑफ हिमाचल प्रदेश एंड फ्लोज थ्रू द चंबा वैली ऑफ द स्टेट. Okay, Chamba Valley of the state. Before entering Pakistan and joining the Chenab near Sarai Sidhu, it drains the area lying between the southeastern part of the Pirpanjal and the Dhauladhar ranges. The Bias is another important tributary of the Indus, originating from the Bias Kund near the Rohtang Pass at an elevation of 4,000 meters above the mean sea level. The river flows through the Kulu Valley and forms gorges at Kati and Larji in the Dhauladhar range. It enters the Punjab plains where it meets the Satluj near Harike. The Satluj originates in the Rakas Lake. तो सतलुज जो है राकस लेक में ओरिजिनेट होता है। ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये जो सोर्स रीजन है इन पांचों रिवर का। पंजनाद, ठीक है, रावी, बियास, सतलुज, चेनाब और झीलाम। तो सतलुज जो है राकस लेक में ओरिजिनेट होता है नियर मानस सरोवर एट एन ऑल्टीट्यूड ऑफ 55 मीटर इन तिब्बत वायर इट इज नोन एज दी लांगचेन खम्बाब। तो हमने पढ़ा था कि लायंस माउथ या फिर क्या था, लायंस माउथ और क्या था रे, सिंगी खाम्बान। ओके, सिंगी खाम्बान। तो ये कहाँ किसको बोलते हैं? इंडस को ही बोलते हैं। इन तिब्बत इट इज नोन एज सिंगी खाम्बान और लायंस माउथ दैट इज इंडस सिंधु रिवर या इंडस रिवर। एंड यहाँ पर हमने देखा कि जो राकस लेक से जो सतलुज ओरिजिनेट होता है तो वहाँ पर उसको लांगचेन खम्बा बोला जाता है। इट फ्लोज ऑलमोस्ट पैरेलल टू द इंडस फॉर अबाउट 400 किलोमीटर बिफोर एंटरिंग इंडिया एंड कम्स आउट ऑफ ए gorge at Rupar. It passed through the Shipkila on the Himalayan ranges and enters the Punjab plains. It is an antecedent river. It is a very important tributary as it feeds the canal system of the Bhakra Nangal project. The Ganga system. The Ganga is the most important river of India, both from the point of view of its basin and cultural significance. It rises in the Gangotri glacier near Gomukh in the Uttarkasi district, Uttaranchal. Here it is known as the Bhagirathi. It cuts through the central and the lesser Himalayas in narrow gorges. At Devprayag, the Bhagirathi meets the Alaknanda. Hereafter it is known as the Ganga. The Alaknanda has its source in the Satopant glacier above Badrinath. The Alaknanda consists of the Dhauli and the Vishnu Ganga, which meet at Josimath or Vishnu Prayag. The other tributaries of Alaknanda, such as the Pindar, join at Karna Prayag, while Mandakini or Kali Ganga meets it at Rudraprayag. The Ganga enters the plains at Haridwar. From here it flows first to the south, then to the southeast and east before splitting into two distributaries, namely the Bhagirathi and the Hooghly. The river has a length of 25 km. It is shared by Uttaranchal and Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. The Ganga basin covers about 8.6 lakh square km area in India alone. The Ganga river system is the largest in India, having a number of perennial and non-perennial rivers originating in the Himalayas in the north and the peninsula in the south respectively. The Son is its major right bank tributary. So Son is a right bank tributary of the Ganga and it is the major tributary of Ganga. The important left bank tributaries are the Ram Ganga, Gomati, Ghagra and Gandak, Koshi, Mahananda. Ram Ganga, Gomati, Ghagra, Gandak, Koshi, Mahananda. Remember the sequence 2, राम गंगा गोमती घाघरा गंडक कोशी महानंदा। तो एक बार मैप में देख लेते कि इसको दिखाया गया था, एक बार देख लो। यहाँ पर लेफ्ट बैंक ट्रिब्यूटरीज आर दिस साइड, सो यू कैन से नहीं, रामगंगा नहीं दिखाया है, गोमती घाघरा गंडक कोशी सिर्फ इन चारों को दिखाया गया है। ठीक है, गोमती घाघरा गंडक एंड कोशी रिवर, बाकी नहीं दिखाया गया है। ठीक है, तो हमने क्या क्या पढ़ा, जो गंगा का जो ट्रिब्यूटरी रिवर्स है वो राइट बैंक ट्रिब्यूटरीज, सॉरी लेफ्ट बैंक ट्रिब्यूटरीज क्या क्या था, कहाँ गए, ये ब्रह्मपुत्र हो गया, अच्छा यहीं पे था। ये द इम्पोर्टेंट लेफ्ट बैंक ट्रिब्यूटरीज थी राम गंगा गोमती घाघरा गंडक कोशी एंड महानंदा। राम गंगा गोमती घाघरा महानंदा कोशी एंड गोमती कोशी एंड महानंदा। राम गंगा एंड महानंदा लास्ट में है, तो राम गंगा गोमती घाघरा गंडक कोशी महानंदा। द रिवर फाइनली डिस्चार्ज itself into the Bay of Bengal near the Sagar Island. The Yamuna, the westernmost and the longest tributary of Ganga. Yamuna is the longest tributary of the Ganga. और हमने सोन के बारे में क्या पढ़ा, Son is the important tributary of the right bank tributary of the Ganga, right? So the Ganga river is कहाँ पढ़ा था हमने, yes यहाँ पर देखो, the Son is major right bank tributary of the Ganga, major right bank tributary of the Ganga. Son is the right bank tributary, major right bank tributary of the Ganga. The Jamuna, the westernmost and the longest tributary of the Ganga, has its source in the Yamunotri glacier on the western slopes of Bandarpunj range. So Bandarpunj range से कौन निकलता है, Yamuna निकलता है, Yamuna river, it joins the Ganga at Prayag, that is Allahabad, प्रयागराज और इलाहाबाद में मिलते हैं। तो जमुना जो है गंगा से इलाहाबाद या प्रयाग में मिलते हैं। इट इज जॉइंड बाय द चंबल द सिंध, सॉरी it is joined by the Chambal, the Sindh, it is joined by the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, the Ken, and on its right bank, which originates from the peninsular plateau, and while the Hindan, the Rind, the Sengar, the Baruna, etc. join on its left bank. So much of its water feeds the western and the eastern Yamuna and the Agra canals for irrigation purposes. तो मैप में अगर देखा जाए तो क्या कुछ ऐसा मेंशनड है पॉइंट, तो देखो जमुना रिवर दिया गया है, बाकी इसका जो है ट्रिब्यूटरी दिखाया गया, देखो चंबल सिंध बेतवा केन, बहुत अच्छी बात है। ठीक है, चंबल सिंध बेतवा केन, फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट, चंबल सिंध बेतवा केन, चंबल सिंध बेतवा केन। बट यहाँ पर और भी सारे कुछ नाम थे, तो एक बार फिर से एक बार पढ़ते हैं यहाँ पर कि यमुना द वेस्टर्न मोस्ट एंड द लॉन्गेस्ट ट्रिब्यूटरी ऑफ द गंगा हैज इट सोर्स इन द यमुनेत्री ग्लेशियर ऑन द वेस्टर्न स्लोप्स ऑफ बंदरपुंज रेंज। इट जॉइंस द गंगा एट प्रयाग इलाहाबाद। इट इज जॉइंड बाय द चंबल सिंध बेतवा एंड केन on its right bank, which originates from the peninsular plateau, while the Hindan, the Rind, the Sengar, the Baruna, ये सब नहीं दिखाया गया, etc. join on its left bank tributary, left bank. Much of its water feeds the western and the eastern Yamuna and the Agra canals for irrigation purposes. Much of its water feeds in the western and eastern Yamuna and the Agra canals for irrigation purposes. The Chambal rises near Moho in the Malwa Plateau of Madhya Pradesh. Chambal rises in the Moho in Madhya Pradesh, Malwa Plateau of Madhya Pradesh, and flows northwards through a gorge upwards of Kota in Rajasthan, where the Gandhi Sagar Dam has been constructed. From Kota, it traverses down to Bundi, Swati, Madhpur, and Dholpur, and finally joins the Yamuna. The Chambal is famous for its badland topography caused ओके, तो हमने पढ़ा द चंबल इज फेमस फॉर इट्स बैडलैंड टोपोग्राफी कॉल्ड द चंबल रैवाइन्स। द गंडक comprises two streams, namely Kali Gandak and Trishul Ganga. So Gandak comprises of two streams, that is Kali Gandak and Trishul Ganga. It rises in the Nepal Himalayas between the Dhaulagiri and Mount Everest and drains the central part of Nepal. It enters the Ganga plain in Champaran district of Bihar and joins the Ganga at Sonpur near Patna. So Gandak river जो है joins the river Ganga near Sonpur at Patna. In Patna, the Ghagra originates in the glaciers of Mapchachungo. After collecting the waters of its tributary Tila, Sheti, Beri, it comes out of the mountain, sitting a deep gorge at the Sisapani. The river Sarda, Kali or Kali Ganga joins it in the plain before it finally meets the Ganga at Chhapra. The Koshi is an antecedent river with its source to the north. So remember this information very carefully. Koshi is an antecedent river with its source to the north of Mount Everest in Tibet, where its main stream Arun rises. After crossing the central Himalayas in Nepal, it is joined by the Son Koshi from the west and the Tamur Koshi from the east. It forms Sapto Koshi after uniting with the river Arun. And the Ram Ganga is comparatively a smaller river rising in Garhwal Hills near Gairs, and it changes its course to the southwest direction. And after crossing so and okay, the Ram Ganga is comparatively a smaller river rising in the Garhwal Hills near Gairs, and it changes its course to the southwest direction after crossing the Shivalik and enters into the plains of Uttar Pradesh near Najibabad. Finally, it joins the Ganga near Kanauj. The Damodar occupies the eastern margins of the Chotnagpur Plateau, where it flows through the Rift Valley and finally joins the Hooghly. The Barakar is its main tributary, once known as the Sorrow of Bengal. The Damodar has been now tamed by the Damodar Valley Corporation, a multi-purpose project. Then the Sarda or Saryu river rises in the Milan Glacier in the Nepal Himalayas, where it is known as the Gori Ganga. Okay, along the Indo-Nepal border, it is called Kali or Chok, where it joins the Ghagra. The Mahananda is another important tributary of the Ganga and rising in the Darjeeling Hills. It joins the Ganga as its left bank tributary in West Bengal. So the Mahananda is another important tributary of the Ganga rising in the Darjeeling Hills. It joins the Ganga as its left bank tributary in West Bengal. The Son is a large south bank tributary of the Ganga, originating in the Amarkantak Plateau. After forming a series of waterfalls at the edge of the plateau, it reaches the Arha west of Patna to join the Ganga. After forming a series of waterfalls at the edge of the plateau, it reaches Arha west of Patna to join the Ganga. The Brahmaputra system. The Brahmaputra, one of the largest rivers of the world, has its origin in the Chemangtung glacier of the Kailash range near the Mansarovar lake. Okay, from here it traverses eastward longitudinally for a distance of nearly 1200 km in a dry and flat region of southern Tibet, where it is known as the Tsangpo, which means the purifier. The Rango Sangpo is the major right bank tributary of this river in Tibet. It emerges as a turbulent and dynamic river after carving out a deep gorge in the central Himalayan region near Namcha Barwa. It emerges as a turbulent and dynamic river after carving a deep gorge in central Himalayas near Namcha Barwa. The river emerges from the foothills under the name of Siang or Dihang. It enters India west of Sadia town in Arunachal Pradesh. Flowing southwest, it receives its main left bank tributaries as Sadia town near receives its main left bank tributaries which Dibang or Sikang and Lohi. Thereafter, it is known as Brahmaputra. The Brahmaputra receives numerous tributaries in its 750 km long journey through the Assam Valley. Its major left bank tributaries are the Burhi, Dihang, Devansari, and Kalang, whereas the important right bank tributaries are the Subansiri, Kameng, Manas, and Sankos. Then the Subansiri, which has its origin in the root. The Subansiri, which has its origin in Tibet, is an antecedent river. So Subansiri is also an antecedent river. The Brahmaputra enters into Bangladesh near Dhubri and flows southward. In Bangladesh, the Tista joins it on its right bank, from where the river is known as the Jamuna. Yamuna. It finally merges with the river Padma, which falls in the Bay of Bengal. The Brahmaputra is well known for flood, channel shifting, and bank erosion. This is due to the fact that most of the sediments, owing to heavy rainfall in its catchment area. Now, the peninsular drainage system. The peninsular drainage system is older than the Himalayan one. This is evident from the fact that the peninsular drainage system. The peninsular drainage system is older than the Himalayan one. This is evident from the broad, largely graded, shallow valleys and the maturity of the rivers. The western Ghats running close to the western coast act as the water divide between the major peninsular rivers, discharging their water in the Bay of Bengal, and as small rivulets joining the Arabian Sea. Most of the major peninsula rivers except Narmada and Tapi flow from west to east. The Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, the Ken, the Son, originating in the northern part of the peninsula, belong to the Ganga river system. The other major river systems of the peninsular drainage are the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, the Kaveri. Peninsular rivers are characterized by fixed course, absence of meanders, and non-perennial flow of water. The Narmada and the Tapi, which flow through the Rift Valley, are however exceptions. The evolution of peninsular drainage system. So, three major geological events in the distant past have shaped the present drainage systems of peninsular India. Subsidence of the western flank of the peninsula, leading to its submergence below the sea during the early tertiary period. Generally, it has distributed the symmetrical plan of the river on either side of the original watershed. Upheaval of the Himalayas, when the northern flank of the peninsular block was subjected to subsidence and the consequent trough faulting. The Narmada and the Tapi flow in through faults and fill in their original cracks with their detritus materials. Hence, there is a lack of alluvial and deltaic deposits in these rivers. Slight tilting of the peninsular block from northwest to the southeastern direction gave orientation to the entire drainage system towards the Bay of Bengal during the same period. Now, river system of the peninsular drainage. So, there are a large number of river systems in the peninsular drainage. A brief account of major peninsular river systems is given and below. The Mahanadi rises near Sihawa in Raipur district of Chhattisgarh and runs through Orissa to discharge its water into the Bay of Bengal, and it is about 851 km long, and its catchment area spreads over 1.42 lakh square km. Some navigation is carried on in the lower course of this river. 53% of the drainage basin of this river lies in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, while 47% lies in Orissa. So these are unnecessary stuffs. The Godavari is the largest peninsular river system. It is also called the Dakshin Ganga. So southern India में गोदावरी जो है largest है, इसको दक्षिण गंगा भी बोला जाता है. It rises in the Nasik district of Maharashtra and discharges its water into the Bay of Bengal. Its tributaries run through the states of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh. It is 1,465 km long with a catchment area spreading over 3.13 lakh square km. 49% of this lies in Maharashtra, 20% in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, and the rest in Andhra Pradesh. The Penganga, the Indravati, the Pranhita, and the Manjira are its principal tributaries. So Penganga का tributaries क्या है? Indravati, Pranhita, Manjira. This is important. Penganga. The Godavari is subjected to heavy floods in गोदावरी का ट्रिब्यूटरी है ये सब, ठीक है. पेनगंगा, इंद्रावती, प्राणहिता, मंजरा. These are the principal. The Godavari is subject to heavy floods in its lower reaches to the south of the Polavaram, which it forms a picturesque gorge. It is navigable only in the deltaic stretch. The river after Rajamundry splits into several branches forming a large delta. The Krishna is the second largest east-flowing peninsular river, which rises near Mahabaleshwar in Sahyadri. Its total length is 1,400 km. the Koyna and the Tungabhadra and the Bhimas its major tributaries. किसका? कृष्णा का. Of the total catchment area of the Krishna, 27% lies in Maharashtra, 44% in Karnataka and 29% in Andhra Pradesh. The Kaveri rises. तो आप याद रख सकते हो कि सबसे लार्जेस्ट कौन सी स्टेट में है, तो कर्नाटक में सबसे ज़्यादा है, देख सकते हो कृष्णा का जो शेयर है. द कावेरी राइजेज इन ब्रह्मगिरी हिल्स in Kogadu district in Karnataka. Its length is 800 km and it drains an area of 81,155 square kilometer. Since the upper catchment area receives rainfall during the southwest monsoon season summer and the lower part during the northeast monsoon season winter, the river carries water throughout the year with comparatively less fluctuation than the other peninsular rivers. About 3% of the Kaveri basin falls in Kerala, 41% in Karnataka and 56% in Tamil Nadu. Its important tributaries are the Kabini, the Bhabani and the Amravati. The Narmada originates on the western flank of the Amarkantak Plateau at a height of about 1057 meters, flowing in a rift valley between the Satpura in the south and the Vindhyan range in the north. It forms a picturesque gorge in marble rocks and Dhuandhar waterfall near Jabalpur. After flowing a distance of about 1312 km, it meets the Arabian Sea south of the Bharuch, forming a broad 27 km long estuary. Its catchment area is about 98,796 square km. The Sardar Sarovar project has been constructed on this river. So Sardar Sarovar project is located on which river? Narmada river, right? Sardar Sarovar project is located on Narmada river. The Tapi is the other important westward flowing river. It originates from Multai in the Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. It is 724 km long and drains an area of 65,146 square km. Nearly 79% of its basin lies in Maharashtra, 15% in Madhya Pradesh and remaining 6% in Gujarat. Sardar Sarovar Dam is in Narmada river. मैं तापी को पढ़ रहा हूँ. तापी मध्य प्रदेश में है. Luni is the largest river system of Rajasthan, west of Aravalli. It originates near Pushkar in two branches, the Saraswati and the Sabarmati. Okay, so it originates near Pushkar in two branches, that is Sabarmati and Saraswati, which join each other at Govindgarh. From here, the river comes out of Aravalli and is known as the Luni. It flows towards the west till Telwara and then run up Kutch. The entire river system is ephemeral. Small rivers flowing towards the west. So the rivers flowing towards the Arabian Sea have short courses. So why do they have short courses? Find out the smaller rivers of Gujarat. So this Shetlanji is one such river which rises near Dalkhava in Amreli district. The Bhadra originates near Anailai village in Rajkot district. The Dhadar rises near Ghantar village in Panchmahal district. Sabarmati and Mahi are the two famous rivers of Gujarat. So the Shetlanji is one such river which rises near Dalkhava in Amreli district. The Bhadra originates near Anlai village in Rajkot district. The Dhuandhar rises near Ghantar village in Panchmahal district. Sabarmati and Mahi are two famous rivers of Gujarat. Then find out the places of confluence of the rivers. Find out some important west flowing rivers of Maharashtra. The Baitaran rises from the Trimbak Hills in Nasik district at an elevation of 670 meters. The Kalindi rises from Belgaum district and falls in the Karwar Bay. The source of Bedti river lies in Hubli Dharwar and traverses a course of 161 km. The Saravati is another important river in Karnataka flowing towards the west. The Saravati originates in Shimoga district of Karnataka and drains a catchment area of 2,209 square kilometers. Find out the name of the river on which the Gersoppa jog fall is found. Okay, then Goa has two important rivers which can be mentioned here. One is Mandovi and the other is Juari. तो ये बताओ ना पहले कि on which river the Gersoppa jog falls is located. Okay, this is the highest fall in India, I think. Okay, one is Mandovi and the other is Juari. You can look at them on the map. Kerala has a narrow coastline. The longest river of Kerala, that is Bharatpuzha, rises near Anaimalai Hills. It is also known as Ponai. It drains an area of 5,397 square km. Compare its catchment area with that of the Saravati River of Karnataka. The Periyar is the second largest river of Kerala. First is Ponnai or Bharatpuzha. Then another river of Kerala. Sorry, Periyar is the second largest river of Kerala. Its catchment area 5,243 square km. You can see that there is a marginal difference in the catchment area of the Bharatpuzha and the Periyar rivers. Another river of Kerala worth mentioning is the Pamba River, which falls in the Vembanad Lake after traversing a course of 177 km. So these are the teachers may explain the comparative importance of post following small rivers: Sabarmati, Mahi, Dhandhar, Kalinadi, then Saravati, Bharatpuzha, Periyar. क्या पूछा है यहाँ पर? मैं एक्सप्लेन दी comparative importance. अच्छा, small rivers flowing towards the east, so there are large numbers of rivers flowing towards the east along the with their tributaries. Can you name some of the rivers? So there are small rivers which join Bay of Bengal, though small, these are important in their own right. The Subarnarekha, Baitarani, ब्राह्मणी, अजय, देन वंशधारा, दी पेन्नार, सॉरी अजय का नाम यहाँ पर नहीं है, सुवर्णरेखा, बैतरणी, ब्राह्मणी, वंशधारा, पेन्नार, पालार एंड भाईगाई आर मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रिवर्स. फाइंड आउट दीज रिवर्स फ्रॉम दी एटलास. ये देखो कंपैरिजन दिया गया है कि हिमालयन एंड पेनिनसुलर रिवर के बीच में, तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट प्लेस ऑफ ओरिजिन. हिमालयन माउंटेन कवर्ड विद ग्लेशियर्स. हिमालय से ओरिजिन होता है, पेनिनसुलर प्लेटो एंड सेंट्रल हाईलैंड से ओरिजिन होता है. नेचर ऑफ फ्लो, तो हिमालयन रिवर जो है पेरिनियल है, रिसीव वाटर फ्रॉम ग्लेशियर एंड रेनफॉल. एंड पेनिनसुलर रिवर जो है सीजनल है या फिर नॉन पेरिनियल है. तो नॉन पेरिनियल हम नहीं बोलेंगे, हम बोलेंगे सीजनल. सो डिपेंडेंट ऑन मानसून रेनफॉल. देन टाइप ऑफ ड्रेनेज, एंटीसीडेंट एंड कॉन्सिक्वेंट ड्रेनेज ऑफ डेंड्राइटिक पैटर्न इज द मोस्ट एंड antecedent and consequent leading to dendritic pattern in plants. And peninsular river में जो है superimpose rejuvenated resulting in trellis, radial and rectangular patterns. And nature of river is a long course flowing through the rugged mountains, experiencing headward erosion and river capturing in plains, meandering and shifting of course. That is about Himalayan river. And in peninsular rivers are smaller fixed course with well adjusted valleys. Catchment area very large basin, क्योंकि कैचमेंट एरिया जो है वेरी लार्ज होता है हिमालयन रिवर्स का, और पेनिनसुलर रिवर का रिलेटिवली स्मॉलर बेसिन. एज ऑफ द रिवर जो है हिमालयन रिवर्स आर यंगर एंड यूथफुल, एक्टिव एंड डीपनिंग इन द वैलीज. And peninsular rivers are old rivers with graded profile and have almost received their base level. Then as a river regime, so do you know that the quantity of water flowing in a river channel is not the same throughout the year? Definitely all we know that it varies from season to season. In which season do you expect the maximum flow in Ganga and Kaveri? The pattern of flow of water in a river channel over a year is known as its regime. So what is regime? Pattern of flow of water in a river channel. मैंने इस पर एक क्वेश्चन भी कभी पाया था, आई थिंक यूजीसी नेट पेपर में, तो याद रखना. द पैटर्न ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ वाटर इन ए रिवर चैनल इज नोन एज इट्स रिजिम over a year. Okay, over a year is known as its regime. The North Indian rivers originating from the Himalayas are perennial as they are fed by glaciers through snow melt and also receive rainfall water during rainy season. The rivers of South India do not originate from glaciers and their flow pattern witness fluctuations. The rivers of South India do not originate from glaciers and their flow pattern witnesses fluctuations. The flow increases considerably during monsoon rains. Thus, the regime of the rivers of South India is controlled by rainfall, which also varies from one part of the peninsular plateau to the other. The discharge is the volume of water flowing in a river measured over time. It is measured either in cubic feet per second or cubic meter per second. The Ganga has its minimum flow during the January-June period. The maximum flow attained August or in September. After September, there is a steady fall in the flow. The river Daj has a monsoon regime during the rainy season. There are striking differences in the river regimes in the eastern and the western parts of the Ganga basin. The Ganga maintains a sizable flow of the early part of summer due to snow melt before the monsoon rains begin. The mean maximum discharge of the Ganga at Farakka is about 55,000 cusecs, while the mean minimum is only 1,300 cusecs. What factors are responsible for such a large difference? The two peninsular rivers display interesting differences in their regimes compared to the Himalayan rivers. The Narmada has a very low volume of discharge from January to July, but it suddenly rises in August when the maximum flow is attained. The fall in October and is spectacular as the rise in August. The flow of water in the Narmada, as recorded at Gurudeshwar, shows that the maximum flow is of the order of 2,300 cusecs, while the minimum flow is only 15 cusecs. The Godavari has the minimum discharge in May and the maximum in July August. After August there is a sharp fall in winter water flow. Although the volume of flow in October and November is higher than that in any month from January to May, the mean maximum discharge of the Godavari at Polavaram is 3200 cusecs, while the mean minimum flow is 50 cusecs. These figures give an idea of the regime of the river. Extent of usability of river water. This सबको पता है, the rivers of India carry huge volumes of water per year, but it is unevenly distributed both time and space. There are perennial rivers carrying water throughout the year, while the non-perennial rivers have very little water during the dry season. During the rainy season, much of the water is wasted and floods and flows down to the sea. Similarly, when there is a flood in one part of the country, the other area suffers from drought. Why does this happen? It is the problem of availability of water resource or that of its management. Can you suggest some measures to mitigate the problems of floods and droughts simultaneously occurring in different parts of the country? So can these problems be solved or minimized by transferring the surplus water from one basin to the water deficit basin? Do we have some schemes of interbasin linkages? Definitely we have. Teachers mention the following example: Periyar diversion scheme, Indira Gandhi canal project, Kurnool Kudappa canal project, Bia Satluj link, Ganga कावेरी लंग। तो ये सारी चीज़ों के बारे में थोड़ा थोड़ा जानना पड़ेगा आपको, एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इंपॉर्टेंट हो जा सकता है ये सारे जो स्कीम है प्रोजेक्ट से। हैव यू रेड द न्यूज़पेपर अबाउट द लिंकिंग ऑफ रिवर? डू यू थिंक दैट डिगिंग ए कैनल इज एनफ टू ट्रांसफर वाटर फ्रॉम द गंगा बेसिन टू पेनिnsula रिवर? व्हाट इज द मेजर प्रॉब्लम? कंसल्ट चैप्टर 2 ऑफ दिस बुक एंड फाइंड आउट द डिफिकल्टीज posed by the unevenness of the trend. How can the water be lifted from the plain area to the plateau area? Is there sufficient surplus water in the North Indian rivers which can be transferred on a regular basis? Organize a debate on the whole issue and prepare a write-up. How do you rank the following problems in using river water? Okay, no availability in sufficient quantity, river water pollution, load of silt in the river water, uneven seasonal flow of water, river water disputes between states, shrinking of channels due to the extension of settlement towards the Thalweg. How do you rank the following problems? Okay, so why are the rivers polluted? Have you seen the dirty waters of cities entering into the rivers? Why do the industrial effluents and waste get disposed of? Most of the cremation grounds are on the banks of rivers and the dead bodies are sometimes thrown in the rivers. On the other occasions of some festivals, the flowers and statues are immersed in the rivers. Large scale bathing and washing of clothes also pollute river waters. How can you rivers be made pollution free? Have you ever read Ganga Action Plan or about a campaign for cleaning the Yamuna at Delhi? Collect materials and schemes for making rivers pollution free and organize the materials in a write-up. So these are very important. I think I need to read it again. I am feeling quite sleepy. No, okay, I don't know because I usually get up this time. Recently, getting up this time. Okay, don't know because it can be that I am reading it in a lazy manner or don't know why. So I am pausing this video here and we'll continue in the unit 3 from the next video. Thank you friends.